Hello students, today we are going to see about the semaphore. A semaphore is a counter which will be used to provide access to a shared data object for the multiple access. You can say that a semaphore, it will be mainly used for the concurrent access. Okay, to obtain a shared resource, a process has to need the following. First one, it has to test the semaphore that is going to control the resource. Each resource is going to have some value that is called as the semaphore. So whenever the process want to access any shared resources, first it has to test the semaphore value of that particular resource. If the value of the semaphore is positive, the process can use the resource. In this case, the process is going to decrement the semaphore by 1, indicating that it has used 1 unit of that particular resource. Otherwise, if the value of the semaphore is 0, the process goes to sleep until the semaphore value is greater than 0. When the process wakes up, it returns it to the step 1. Okay. So whenever we are going to make use of any semaphore, it is going to have the value as 1. If that resource is going to have only 2 uh, processes or the 2 resources. Okay, so if I want to make use of that particular resource, okay, first I am going to test the semaphore of that particular resource. Okay, if that resource is not accessible by any other process, that time the value of that semaphore will be the positive. And if you want to access that semaphore, just you have to access that resource and make the or decrease the value of semaphore by 1. So now it will be 0, where 0 is going to indicate that it will be accessed by the some other processes. So that other processes which want to access that particular resource, when they are going to check the semaphore of that resource, then if they are going to get the value as 0, means that resource is already assigned by the some resources there. Okay, in that case, that process has to wait until the value of 0 will become the 1. Okay, then when the value of semaphore will become the 1, when the occupied process, if it has finished its working or its uses, that time it is going to make, while exiting from that resource or while releasing that resource, it is going to make the semaphore value as 1 by incrementing that semaphore value by 1. Okay, so the resources which are actually waiting for that particular resource, now they are going to check it, and if they are capable, that resources will be assigned to that particular processes there. Okay, so this is the concept of your semaphores. When a process is done with a shared resources which has been controlled by the semaphore value is incremented by 1. If any other processes are in the sleep which are actually waiting for that particular resource, then they are awakened and that resource will be assigned to that process there. The next, semaphore. Exercise semaphores are unfortunately more complicated than this, our normal semaphore. So 3 features are going to contribute to these unnecessary complications. The first one is, a semaphore is not simply a single non-negative value. Instead, we have to define a semaphore as a set of one or more semaphore values. The creation of the semaphore, where it will be done by using the semget, it is independent of its initialization, that is semctl. Okay, that sem control is there. We have to worry about a program which is going to terminate without releasing the semaphores it has been allocated. So these are the some problems which you are going to process. Okay, so when a process is done, in case of a normal semaphore that is controlled by the semaphore value is incremented by 1. If any other processes are asleep waiting for the semaphore, they are awakened. A common form of semaphore is called as the binary semaphore. It controls a single resource and its value is initialized to 1. In general, however, a semaphore can be initialized to any positive value there, with the value indicating how many units of shared resources are available for sharing. So in that case, you are going to face these 3 problems. The first one is, A semaphore is not simply a single non-negative value. Instead, we have to define the semaphore as a set of one or more semaphore values. When we create a semaphore, we specify the number of values in the set. Then the second is the creation of the semaphore message get is independent of its initialization sem control. This is the fatal flaw since we cannot automatically create a new semaphore sets and initialize all the values in the set. And the third problem is since all forms of XXI IPC remain in existence even when no process is in using them, we have to worry about the program which are going to terminate without releasing the semaphore it has been allocated. So the undo features that we describe later is supposed to be handled here. Then next, the kernel maintain a SEM ID, okay, that is semaphore ID data structure for each of the semaphore set, okay, whereas the SEM ID DS data structure, it is consist of some fields. First one is the structured IPC permission, okay, here IPC communication you are going to perform. So what all permission it is going to have, that structure variable will be present in the semaphore structure. Then unsigned short is there which will be used to sem name, that is number of semaphores in set. Then the sem o time is there, that is the last semaphore operation time. Then the sem c time is there, it will be used for last change time. Then next, each semaphore is represented by a anonymous structure containing at least of the following some members there. The first one is the semaphore value will be there. Okay, semaphore value, it is always greater than or equal to 0. Okay, next is sem PID, that is the PID of the last operation. Then sem NCNT will be there. It is a number of processes awaiting the SEM value which is greater than the current value. Okay, so here that whatever the SEM value, that SEM value we are going to say here, that will be greater than the current value will be there. Okay, in case of SEM N count is there. Then SEM Z count will be the number of process waiting. Okay, here the SEM value is equal to the 0. Here, in case of our SEM Z count, in that case the SEM value will be the 0. Then next, the first function to call is SEMGET to obtain the semaphore ID. Okay, and this is the syntax here, semaphore get SEMGET. Then the key which we have accessed by using the IPC. Then the N value will be there. Then the flag will be there. On the correct execution of this method, you are going to get the semaphore ID. If anything happen, it is you are going to get the -1 as an error. When a new set is created, the following members of our SEM ID. So SEM ID data structures are initialized. The first one will be the IPC permission structure is initialized. The mode member of this structure is set to the corresponding permission bits of the flag. Here in the flag you are going to pass some permissions, so these value will be initialized to the IPC perm structure. Okay, then SEM O time it will be set to 0, C time it will be set to the current time, whereas the N time it will be set to the N SEMs there. The SEM next one will be the SEM control is there. If this is the function which is going to catch all for various semaphore operations. Okay, so here SEM ID you are going to pass as the parameter, SEM number, then the command. Okay, then union SEM SEM you are going to pass. Okay, so just here how the union will be defined. It is going to have the value as val. It is going to set the set value which is present in the that data structure. Okay, SEM ID underscore ds, that the star buffer, the pointer to the SEM ID data structure. Then the IPC set, which is the unsigned short array for the get all and the set all methods. Okay, so the pointer for this will be passed as a parameter while calling the SEM control function. So here the value, that command value for the SEM control, the first one will be the get all, return values of the semaphore set in the argument dot array. Then get val is there, return the value of specific semaphore element. Then get PID, return the process ID of last process to manipulate the element. Then the get NCNT, return the number of processes waiting for element to increment. Then get Z count is there, which is going to return the number of processes which are waiting for element to become the 0, means the number of processes which are waiting for that particular resources to become the free. IPC RMID will be there, which is going to remove the semaphore set identified by the SEMID. You are going to remove that semaphore from your IPC communication. Then IPC set is there. It is going to set the permission of your semaphore set for the arg.buf. Then IPC stat is there. Copy the number of SEMID data structure of semaphore set SEMID into arg.buf. Then set all is there. Set the values of semaphore set from arg.array. Then set the value of specific semaphore element to the arg.val is there. The command arguments specify one of these 10 commands to be performed on the set which is specified by the SEMID. The functions SEM automatically perform an array of operation on the semaphore set which has been present in the sys/sem.h header file. Okay, so to perform the various operation, you are going to use the method called sem operations. Okay, so this is the syntax for that. Sem id, on which sem you are going to perform the operation, that you have to specify. Then the semaphore array is there, then the size, the number of operation you are going to perform. So here the sembuf structure, it is going to have the three values. The first one will be the sem member numbers in the set, that is 0 1 till nsem minus 1. Then the sem operation that is negative 0 or the positive operation you are going to perform. Then the flag, whether IPC no wait or the sem undo, these operations will be performed, and the pointer of the structure will be passed as a parameter to your sem operation. So the sem operation element operations are the values specifying the amount by which the semaphore value is to be changed. If the sem of is an integer which is greater than 0, semops adds the value to the corresponding semaphore element value and awakes all the processes that are waiting for the element to increase. Okay, if you are going to perform the operation which is greater than 0, means here you are going to wake up all the processes which are actually waiting for that semaphore by incrementing the value of that semaphore by 1. Okay, if the sem of value is 0 and the semaphore element value is not 0, sema blocks the calling process waiting for 0 and increments the count of process waiting for a 0 value of that element. If semaphore value is the negative number, semaphore adds the sem of value to the corresponding semaphore element value which has been provided by the result would not be a negative. If the operation would make the element value negative, semoff blocks the process on the event that the semaphore element's value increases. If the resulting value is 0, semoff awakes the processes waiting for the 0.